going on? It's time for Gear Up with PEG. Ryan over here, Jeffrey over there, and you know how you know it's time for Gear Up? Because we have some gear here next to us. This is one of our Canon DSLR cameras, and especially on photography projects, this is one of our mainstays. And Jeffrey, why is that?
Sure. So as you said, this is one of Canon's professional DSLR models. This is pretty much the gold standard when it comes to almost anything in photography world in the small format market. So one thing we love about our red camera is it's the gold standard in video. This is the gold standard in photos. So this is what you'll see for good reason on pretty much any professional photography project. It takes the same lenses that we share oftentimes between our video and our stills cameras. We use a lot of Canon's L series glass. That just means it's pretty much the highest end they make. And this can be used in a variety of photography situations, whether that's grabbing a bunch of photos out in the field with a little quick light on top when you don't have time to drag around big lighting setups, or on the flip side, if you're doing something in a studio when you can have those traditional big strobes where you're getting the exact right highlight on the back of a product. This is good for all those scenarios.
Now, I know one place that I see it used a lot, especially for us, is product photos. And why especially for product photography, things like you might see, used in a website, in print materials, things like that. Why is it so good for that specifically?
So especially for print, you need massive photos, and this is great at that. This has 25 plus megapixel photos. All that really means is when you're putting it into a gigantic full page print ad, you're going to have something where you're not going to get a real pixelated image. It's going to be super sharp and look great. The other advantage of something like this is it shoots to RAW. Just like our red shoots to RAW for video, this shoots to RAW for photos. So if you want to get in afterwards and tweak 1,000 photos to be the exact same type of setting, no problem. You can make that adjustment in post and see it reflected real time in your editing screen.
And it can do video as well, correct?
Yeah, it can. This used to be a little more popular 5-10 years ago when these were the only way you could get what most people refer to as like large sensor video. These were the only ones that actually had that large sensor. Nowadays, with cameras like our FS7s or the Red, those are going to give you that big sensor look with a lot better capability. So you don't see these used as much in the field. Matter of fact, it's pretty rare nowadays. But it can from time to time, and it definitely does have good video capabilities. It's a little outclassed by some of our other video models, but if you were doing a shoot where you needed to pop it in to grab one clip, you could certainly do so. And the other beautiful part about doing that with this guy is it's really small. I mean, even compared to our Red, which is super small and can be built for those kind of setups, this is even smaller. It doesn't quite have the same video quality as the Red, but if you do need a shot or two, it can do that.
And one thing, even though it is photos, that a lot of people think of as videos that this does really well is time-lapse, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that is one, when we talk, you don't use it so much for video nowadays, these guys. That's where this absolutely is still used frequently. Reason being, a time lapse, even though it presents itself as a video, is really just a bunch of photos. So when we do time lapses with this guy, we have setups where we can run this for 8+ hours easily. We can go up to 48 hours. It really doesn't matter because it's run off wall power. It's just limited by the amount of photos you really need in a time lapse, and usually you don't need more than that. So this is great for that. You end up with a time lapse that is frankly massive. You've got a 25 megapixel image that you can work with, make as big or as small as you want, and these are perfect for that. And because it's a photo camera, those are all RAW as well.
Very cool. That's one of our pieces of gear. That's why we film these gear ups. It's pretty interesting to know. For more on the gear, we've got printentertainmentgroup.com, the place to do so. You can also visit our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram accounts for more information on that gear and what's going on. If you just want cute cat photos, I guess, you can follow Jeffrey himself on Twitter. I'll give you a lot of great industry insight as well. But make sure you follow us and the company to find out a whole lot more. But for now, this has been Gear Up.